Hello everybody, UFC 143 kicks off tomorrow and it kicks off the Super Weekend this weekend. Super Saturday, UFC 143 also introduces a new introduction to the pay-per-view. Instead of having the Gladiator introduction, they now scrap that and have a new one, and we're all wondering what it's going to be. I know I am. I'm kind of anxious to see what it is, but I'm kind of disappointed that they got rid of the Gladiator introduction. Anyway, let's get to the fights. I'm going to do the main card, like always. Ed Herman versus Clifford Starks. Last three for Ed Herman. Kyle Nook submission, Tim Crater TKO victory. And Aaron Simpson, he had a TKO loss due to a knee injury. Clifford Starks' last three was Dustin Jacoby decision, Artinus Young decision, and Rudy Aguilar TKO victory. Okay, Ed Herman's background is a wrestling. He's got a wrestling-based background with a boxing, striking, and also he has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Whereas Clifford Starks just is a wrestler and boxing. So very little kicks we're going to see in here. I'm going to have to favor Ed Herman in this one just because he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That gives him a slight edge in this fight. Bantamweight battle right here. Renaud Brau and Scott Jorgensen. Last three for Renaud Brau, Brad Pickett, submission victory, Cole Escudera, decision, and Chris Cariaso in a submission victory. He also currently holds one of the longest streaks in MMA of unbeaten streaks. He's got 28. He's got a 28-fight unbeaten streak. He's a Muay Thai specialist, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Scott Jorgensen, on the other hand, in his last three, has defeated Jeff Curran in decision, Ken Stone by a knockout, and he lost to Dominic Cruz, which was for the bantamweight title. Scott Jorgensen has a boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt background. I'm going to give my slight edge to Renaud Brau, just because he's got kicks. He can throw different angles of kicks, and he just knocked off the #1 contender for the bantamweight title in Brad Pickett. Next fight, Josh Koscheck versus Mike Pierce. This is, in my prediction, is going to be the fight of the night. We have two All-American wrestlers, both heavy-handed. They're identical in the fight on paper. They are very identical on paper. Let's go to the last three. Matt Hughes, TKO victory. GSP was it's a decision lost. And then Paul Daly, a unanimous decision where he just grounded and pounded throughout the whole match. Mike Pierce's last three. Paul Bradley, decision. Johnny Hendricks, a decision loss. And Kenny Robertson, a TKO victory. Like I said, these guys are very identical. Josh Koscheck is a more seasoned fighter. I'm going to give my slight edge to Josh Koscheck in this fight. Here's an interesting one for you. Roy Nelson versus Fabricio Verdum. Last three for Roy Nelson is a victory over Krokop by TKO, a decision loss to Frank Mir, and another decision loss to Junior Dos Santos. Fabricio Verdum, last three lost to Alistair Overeem in a decision in the Strikeforce Grand Prix. He's got a submission victory over Fedor Emelianenko, and he's got a decision over Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Roy Nelson is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's heavy-handed in his boxing skills. And for Fabricio Verdum, he's black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a Muay Thai specialist. With this, they both fought Junior Dos Santos. This is what I'm going to base my prediction off. Fabricio Verdum went to sleep when he suffered a punch from Junior Dos Santos, whereas Roy Nelson took the same exact shot with an uppercut and was perfectly fine. So I'm giving my slight edge to Roy Nelson, even though people think, oh, he's a little overweight and shouldn't be in the heavyweight division. He should lose some weight so he can get into the light heavyweight. But I'm still giving my edge to Roy Nelson because he does have a chin, he can take a shot, and he's very heavy-handed, just like Junior Dos Santos. So slight edge, Roy Nelson. Okay, the main event, Carlos Condit versus Nick Diaz. This is the fight that nobody was looking forward to, but they're going to enjoy it. Carlos Condit was scheduled to fight GSP. Nick Diaz also was scheduled to fight GSP. Nick Diaz had the first shot, but he failed to show up to interviews, so Carlos Condit went to the main event to face GSP. GSP sprained his MCL, was out of the fight in that card. Carlos Condit decided, I'm going to take this fight off. I'll come back next time. And Nick Diaz stayed on the fight card to fight BJ Penn. After the BJ Penn fight, Nick Diaz called him out and wanted to fight, and GSP wanted it too. So the original fight was actually supposed to be Nick Diaz and GSP. Well, GSP tore his ACL and is now out for 12 months, which was about 3 months ago. So now the fight is now Carlos Condit versus Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz, to the odds makers, is the favorite to win this fight. Don't count Carlos Condit out. He can surprise people. He's done it before. Okay, let's get to the background. Carlos Condit has won his 9 of his last 10. In the last 3, he's got a KO flying knee victory to Dong Hyun Kim, a KO over Dan Hardy, and another KO over Rory McDonald. Nick Diaz, on the other hand, has a unanimous decision beatdown of BJ Penn, Paul Daly a TKO victory, and a submission victory by armbar over Evangelista Santos. Carlos Condit is a Muay Thai specialist and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, and he has a purple belt. On the other hand, Nick Diaz is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is his foundation of his ground game, and he's a boxer. He also is a southpaw, which is a little different from what Carlos Condit is used to seeing. Their record breakdown: 27 wins, 5 losses for Carlos Condit, 13 KO, 13 submission, and 1 decision. Nick Diaz, 13 KOs, 8 submissions, and 5 decisions. 8 submissions and 5 decisions. The tail of the tape: 27. Carlos Condit is 27, 6'2", 170 with a reach of 76 inches. Nick Diaz, a year older, an inch shorter. Everything else is virtually the same. I'm giving my edge to Carlos Condit for this one simple fact, that he's got amazing striking skills. He can keep, if it goes to the ground, he's not afraid to go to the ground. That's why he takes all these risks. If you're a fighter that can take risks and is not afraid to go to the ground, you're gonna get my slight edge in this fight. On the other hand, I will say Nick Diaz is from the 209. He's from Stockton. He can take a punch, and he is the favorite to win this fight. But I'm still going to give my choice to Carlos Condit. All right, everybody, that's the fights for this weekend's fight, and I hope you have a great Super Weekend, Super Saturday, and then Super Sunday the following day with the Super Bowl game. So please watch my video, like it, send it out to other people's profiles. You know, I really appreciate your guys' views and everything that you've done for me. Without you, none of this would be possible for me. Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice weekend. Be safe. Don't drink and drive.